Your trading strategy can be perfect and you will still lose money. The reason is these 6 mental traps almost every trader falls into. Let's break them down. So now let's take a look at the most important cognitive biases in trading. And the very first bias you need to know about is known as recency bias. And recency biases in trading is when we give recent trades too much weight. And the reason for this is very simple. And this bias is, exists in, of course, in real life as well. And this is simply because the brain gives too much value to recent events. Things that we easily remember, we tend to overvalue and overemphasize. So let's, as an example, say that a trader has been backtesting and knows that his trading strategy has a 60% win rate. And maybe for some reason, when he starts trading, he might, win the first trade, second trade, and let's say that he wins, 6 trades in a row. However, after a while, this sort of, we can think about it as a lucky streak comes to an end, and the trader loses not 1 time, not 2 times, but 4 times here in a row. And what we can notice if we just look at this a little bit, weird way of events, winning 6 times in a row and then losing 4 times in a row is, pretty uncommon if you have a 60% win rate strategy. It's more common to maybe win 2 times, then lose 1 time, then win 1 time, lose 1 time, and so on and so on. But this can definitely happen. And if we, look at this trade right here, we can also see that this is indeed exactly the 60% win rate the trader expected. However, because of the recency bias, these 4 losses in a row, because the brain overvalues the recent trades, the trader, because of the 4 recent losses, might start to, doubt that the strategy even works. He might start to think that, this trading strategy might, be useless now. It has failed 4 times in a row and so on and so on. So here, the very important thing and the very important skill for a trader to be able to do is to zoom out and look at the big picture and not overvalue the most recent trades. You want to always be objective and look at the statistics and the facts for what they are and avoid this sort of bias of overvaluing what you remember the most. So as you can see right here, 3 losses in a row can feel like the whole system is broken, but that definitely doesn't have to be the case. But okay, so now then, the other very important bias, this one is super important in trading, is confirmation bias. And this is when we seek out only the information that support the trade. For example, the trade we already took or the trade that we are looking out for, and we ignore the red flags. So this is a super common bias. Also, all the biases I talk about here is present in real life, but also in trading. So for example, in real life, confirmation bias might be that, let's say that you have a certain opinion about anything, it could be politics or anything else. And because you have that opinion, you look only for the facts that supports your opinion, and you completely ignore, even if you might, see, let's say you see a study that points toward the other direction, you completely ignore it because you only want to focus on what you think is right. So here, to show you guys a real example of confirmation bias, let's once again jump into TradingView here. And let's say that your thesis or your sort of bias here is that Intel during this time was in a downtrend. So as you can see right here, you might have drawn out a channel that sort of proves to yourself that Intel is in a very clear trend towards the downside. Then let's say that Intel actually, as you can see right here, Intel broke the trend line and started to move up. If you are sort of biased, you're only looking for information that proves that Intel is in a downtrend, then you might actually start to do something that can be very devastating, and that is to sort of remove your analysis, and maybe you start to try to adjust the sort of trend channel to prove your point. So instead of the downtrend sloping like it did right here, you might try to adjust. So you might say, oh, okay, it's still in a downtrend, but now the slope looks something like this instead. You can see this still looks like a downtrend. But what we have now done is just to change the analysis to sort of confirm what we thought were true. And that is where the name confirmation bias comes from. And let's say that this, goes on and on. So once again, the price breaks right here. But now you might still be able to, in your mind, say that it's still a downtrend, let's just adjust it a little bit more. But now, the downtrend might, slope something like this. You can still kind of make this argument that this right here looks like a downtrend. It starts to look very shaky now. But you can see that this confirmation bias eventually led to the grave conclusion here that no, the price was actually, at the brink of a massive parabolic move towards the upside. So if you were this trader that were convinced that Intel was in a downtrend and you adjusted your analysis all the time, this could have led to devastating losses. But right, so now let's take a look at 4 of the most destructive emotions in trading. And the very first emotion we of course have to talk about is fear. I would say different kinds of fear is by far the most common emotion in trading. And this is an emotion that gets much stronger when we start to trade with real money. This is true for all of the emotions, but I would say that fear is the one that really stands out. And fear can lead to many different things. It can lead to things like, for example, exiting winning trades too early, or it can lead to things like hesitating on even taking a trade. Maybe you have a trading strategy and you find a perfect setup, but fear can make you, hesitate and, not take the setup, even though it's clearly there on your charts. Another very important destructive emotion is greed, because greed leads to things like, for example, oversizing positions. This basically means that you go in with more money than is smart or sensible. It can also lead things to ignoring the trading plan to chase bigger wins, and so on and so on. Greed can often be the sort of root of traders that, destroy their whole trading account. And this feeling can especially be dangerous for new or beginner traders. Because a common thing I see many beginner traders is that they start trading and of course, just by pure statistic, some traders will be very lucky in the beginning. So let's say that you are a trader, you have just started out, maybe you have watched, 1 or 2 video, maybe you have watched like 1 or 2 of my trading videos, and you think that, I'm already ready to start trading with real money. And let's say that it starts going super good. So let's say that you maybe win 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, 4 time. Let's say you win 5 times in a row, on your first trading week. At this point, you might start thinking like, man, I have trading figured out. I really know how to trade. So this can lead to you using more and more money. And let's say that you still, maybe you have, to make it a little bit realistic, maybe you have, 1 loss after that. But once again, you start getting a little bit lucky and you win more and you win more and you win more. So at this point, you might think, as you can see here, you have 8 wins and 1 losses. At this time, you might start to think that, I'm the best trader in the world. I'm gonna start using all my money, and even worse, I'm gonna use leverage. So I'm gonna use all my money on the next trade, and I'm gonna use, let's say, a leverage of 5x. So here you can see you start to get super greedy and overconfident. And let's say that for some reason, maybe you trade a stock, and for some reason you forgot to check that the stock have an earnings report the next day, and for some reason that earnings report led to the stock going minus 20%. And if you use 5x leverage and the stock drops 20%, what happens? Well, you lose everything. So I really hope this example demonstrates how, greed can be so dangerous. But now the next emotion I want to talk about is actually a special case of fear. And I wanted to give this one its own bullet point because this emotion is so common, and I think it deserved a spot on its own, because this is the fear of missing out. So this is a special case of fear when you are basically chasing trades after the move, or at least after, you know, the big portion of the move has already happened. So this is when you see a stock, maybe you know, see a stock starting to go up a little, and you think that I don't really see a setup, I don't really want to buy this stock, it doesn't look good on the chart. But then it goes up even more, and you know, more people start to talk about it, they start to post on social media how much money they have made on the stock, and so on and so on. And then you start to get a little bit, maybe I should have bought, and you start to regret a little bit that you didn't bought, that you missed out on the move. But then you see the move go up even more, and at a certain point you're just, you know, fearful of missing out on this move. So no matter, you might not have a good analysis, but you just simply buy whatever is going up. This is a super common, super common, you know, destructive emotion. Last but definitely not least, I think that this is might be the most important one. That is something known as revenge trading. And this is when we take sort of impulsive trades, we take trades that we haven't really thought about, just to make back our money after a loss. So we take impulsive trades after a loss to make our money back first. And remember, all of this sort of comes a little bit from the loss aversion principle, that losses hurt so much that when we lose, we want to take revenge on the market. We start to see the market as sort of an enemy. Remember, the market is completely neutral. It doesn't know we even exist. The market is the market. But revenge trading is so important. It can be super destructive, because revenge trading is usually just pure trading on emotions. Right, so here I actually want to jump back into TradingView, because I want to try to show you these destructive emotions on a chart. And guys, I can also just remind you guys, as I said earlier, if you for some reason don't have TradingView yet, I don't really know what you're waiting for. And as I said, I do have a link in the description and the pinned comment, which you can use to get TradingView Premium for free for 30 days and a $15 bonus. So make sure to open up TradingView so you can follow along. But here, I think that, as you can see right now, we are actually on a silver chart here, and we are on a weekly time frame. And the reason I want to show you guys this chart is because this is such a good example of an emotional chart. And hopefully you can see this, because here you can see the massive sort of parabolic rally that started somewhere around here when we broke out. You can see we had a massive parabolic rally here towards the upside. And, you know, during this whole rise right here, we can definitely see how FOMO kicked in. This is the classic example of FOMO. Remember here, FOMO is that first, you know, the price start to, you know, go up. More and more traders start to talk about it, and it gets more and more attention. But as I said, many traders at this point talk about it as, you know, being overvalued, that the rally has no reason, and so on and so on. But eventually, for example, right here, I think this was an important moment when the price broke above these 2 points right here. And I think this was the point where, you know, the price really confirmed a new all-time high for silver. So let me actually scroll back a bit here. So as you can see, we had an all-time high from all the way back here in 2010. And you can see the price, we tried to break above here. We got a little bit of a, you know, liquidity grab, a little bit of a fake out. But then I would say that this was the most important candle, the candle that sort of confirmed the breakout, broke about these 2 wicks right here. And this was when, in my opinion, the FOMO really started to kick in. People really started to see, you know, okay, silver is at an all-time high level. I have already missed this part of the rally right here. So I don't care if it doesn't look, maybe it doesn't look good technically. I will just chase the rally. And as the price goes on here and goes on here, the FOMO, of course, gets larger and larger. So here, you know, we start to really get FOMO. People are just buying silver. You know, maybe people that never even have, you know, been thinking about silver at all, or maybe aren't even traders, start to buy, and so on and so on. And this eventually leads to these kind of parabolic tops. As you can see, this right here was a super clear example of massive fear suddenly enter the market. And this is so common after these parabolic rallies. You can see in one day, in this red day right here, the price dropped from a high of 121 down to a low of 64. So it dropped 50% in one day. And this is like a self-reinforcing cycle. Once the price starts to drop, some people start to get fearful and selling, which leads to even more and even stronger price drops, which leads to even more, fear in the market, even more selling, which leads to people, being even more fearful, and so on and so on. This is a massive sort of cycle that starts this massive drop towards the downside of almost, 50% here in just a few candles. So here on this chart, we have seen, FOMO. We have, of course, seen, lots of greed up here, people being super greedy, thinking that the market will go up forever. We have also seen a fear, massive amounts of fear. And the last emotion, what was that? The last emotion was revenge trading. And we can, based on this chart, we can expect lots of revenge trading. People that lost money in this massive fall right here, many of these traders, especially once the price start to bounce, you can see we actually saw a very strong bounce here, almost up to $100 again. Many traders will, in this rally, really, they feel like, I really want to make back my money, so they might enter the market again. Let's say, many traders probably entered up here again just to make back the losses. They think that, this was just a temporary dip. The price will once again reach a new all-time high, so I'm just gonna buy, despite the analysis not looking good. I'm gonna blindly buy and revenge trade. And you can see that, of course, eventually this was a very bad idea, which once again led to even more losses. And these losses can lead to even more revenge trading. All of these emotions, super destructive, and they should be avoided at all costs. Right, so now the time has come. This video was just a very short clip from our full trading psychology course right here on YouTube. To watch the full course, all you need to do is to click or tap on the screen right here. I hope to see all of it there very, very soon.